dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums.
Hey, do we got a delay going on?
No,
I don't see it.
no.
No.
I think this is the best we've ever sounded all at the same time. Remotely. Dude, if we would have done it yesterday, I would have been able to talk today. It would have been bad. Bad. I would have no voice today.
All right, guys, the Blitz is back. I'm Charlie Winkle. He's Anthony Roberts. That's Josh Onan. Welcome to the Blitz the Bookie podcast. It is Tuesday, March the 31st. A little bit different setup for Blitz the Bookie here this week. We are recording remotely for the first time, really. We've done some smaller stuff remotely, but this is going to be the first time we're doing the full show. Besides us not being in the same room together, I think everything should be about the same. As long as we don't have any technical difficulties, we should be good. So, guys, we got a Final Four set. Congrats to Arizona, Michigan, Illinois, and UConn. But the story of the tournament now is Duke choking, completely shitting down their leg for the third year in a row. They blow a 19-point lead, and UConn hits them with a buzzer-beaten three-pointer from damn near half court to win the game and end that overrated season, and the world is a better place for it. Guys, are you all as happy as I am about the way that Duke lost that game?
I'm ashamed to say it. Look, I've hated Duke my whole life. But for some reason, during the tournament, and I didn't need neither team because I hedged the bet that I had, but Boozer grew on me. Not Duke as a team, but the Boozer twins grew on me. And I know I'm going to hell for that. But I do not like Dan Hurley, and I do not like UConn. I don't like them as much as I don't like Duke. So that's where I am with it.
So, no, you're not as happy as I am about that?
No, my enemy number one's always been Louisville.
Well, yeah, always. That's the only time I will cheer for Duke is when they're playing Louisville. But
Right.
come on, dude. UConn, look, I get it for maybe the younger 20, maybe 30 and under. I actually understand them probably disliking UConn a little bit more. But for us, come on, dude. I know UConn.
No, I don't like Duke. I don't like Duke, but it's
UConn
the Boozer twins grew on me. They grew on me.
UConn
At bully ball grew on you, him just trucking into
bully
the lane.
ball, he's good. Hey, you can lie. Hey, I know what people want to call it bully ball. He's really fucking good at bully ball. Let me tell you.
Yes.
That dude's got that move down.
No, I was excited. Me and the wife just screamed when the dude nails the 40-footer. Scared the kid in the kitchen. Didn't know what was going on. Just electric, just the whole complete breakdown. Duke had a timeout, didn't use it. Shar's face is now just a meme now with his big bug eyes. Just the whole moment, those final, 10 seconds, just electric March Madness basketball.
I was running around like it was Kentucky. I'm not even embarrassed to say that. That was awesome. I mean, it wasn't exactly paybacks for Christian Laettner because it wasn't us, but dude, that was fun to watch.
But yeah, the face Shire had, he might have shit his pants. He might have shit his pants. I'm serious. I probably would have shit my pants if I was him because the pass just got to get through. If the pass gets through, the game's over. If he gets fouled, there's probably a 98% chance, 96% chance they win it, even if he gets fouled. If the pass goes through, the game's over.
It just, I mean, there's so many scenarios that could have played out. That was the only scenario that gets Duke beat, is what happened. They had a timeout. They could have just held the ball. They had 10 seconds left. They didn't have to get across half court. Everything that could have went wrong in those 7.5 seconds to get that guy the shot. And I mean, dude, did y'all know it was good when it left his hands?
Oh,
yeah.
You can ask Casey, and of course it was just a guess, but as soon as it left his hands, I said very calmly, he's making that.
Yeah, you got it.
Flash.
You know who they needed there, don't you? You know what they needed? They needed Mark Pope there because Mark Pope knew Cooper Flag was going to spin last time. Shire needed to know those two boys were going to jump. A good coach would have predicted, hey, they're going to try to trap you and jump at you. They're going to make one move at you. Pope knew. Charlie gave me hell, son, last year on the podcast. When he did that, he said, it was some great coaching. We have us a coach now, baby. And I got you on record. I'm going to show it to you.
Get out of here.
And you was dogging Cal. You said, he knew he was going to spin, baby. He knew he was going to spin.
Hey, that was a good coaching moment in his
Yeah,
first
that's why they
game.
needed. That's why Duke needed him. That's why Duke needed him.
Oh.
Dude, I honestly think that we could talk about this game and the Duke situation this whole podcast because there's so many different. I know you were halfway being sarcastic about the coaching decision. We could talk about that for 10 minutes. And I think there's so many different angles. So, guys, if we spend a lot of time on this, it is what it is because I've got a lot to say about a ton of different situations in this game. Here's my first thoughts because before the game was over, of course, UConn was making the run, but I was preparing myself for a Duke win. And I've got some pushback on social media for this comment, but I will stand by this comment, and I want to see what you guys think. I know UConn came back, and I know they eventually won the game. Danny Hurley did not coach well in the last 8 minutes. I'll just leave it at that and ask you two, what do you think about that comment?
So I think, how I always talk about this on the podcast, whether we're talking about football or basketball, I think it is not abnormal for one of the top coaches to make mistakes in coaching. It happens all the time, but it gets covered up when you win. It just does. I see it in college football, college basketball, but when you win, nobody talks about it. But there's coaching mistakes all the time. That's why I hate when somebody wants to grab one or two things from a coach. If he makes a lot more good calls than he makes bad calls, then I'll say he's a good coach. If he makes more bad calls than he makes good calls, I call him a bad coach. But winning and losing either highlights it if you lose and covers it up when you win. You made a good point, Charlie, that Dan Hurley didn't coach well, but it ain't being talked about because he won the game.
Right. I mean, it came down it wasn't like a big run. They just gradually chipped away. And they had earlier in the game, they had chances, but I felt like they took bad shots or should have took a timeout or missed a free throw. I mean, UConn was trying to not win. I don't know if they was trying to lose, but at one point I texted to Charles, dude, does UConn want to win this game? Because they're screwing it up.
A little bit of my reasoning for saying that is I feel like between about 15 minutes left in the second half and 10 to 8 minutes left, about that 5, 6, 7 minute stretch right there, the Reed kid for UConn was having his way with Duke, completely having his way for 5 or 6 minutes, 3, 4 possessions in a row. Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
With 8 or 9 minutes left, he had 23 points, I think. They went to a TV timeout. Maybe it was the 8-minute timeout. I texted, maybe you guys, and I said at that point, they need to feed Reed the ball every time. And they came out of that timeout, and let's not forget, at this moment, with about 8 minutes left in the game, UConn was 1 for 16 from the three-point line. They're not even a great three-point shooting team as it is, and they were 1 for 16 with 8 minutes left in the game. Still down double digits. Even though he was on a little run, they were still down 12. Somewhere,
11 or 12.
Something like that. They came out of the timeout. I don't know if Reed touched the ball for the next 3 to 4 minutes. They actually did cut it to 9 and then got a stop and come down on a 3-on-2 fast break. The guy pulls up from the top of the key on a 3-on-2 fast break. What happened to getting a layup on a 3-on-2 fast break? Pulls up a 3, bricks it. Duke gets the rebound, comes down. They miss or turn the ball over. UConn comes down again. 2 or 3 passes, 6, 7 seconds into the shot clock, and they shoot another 3, and they miss again.
That was on the left.
It was 2 possessions in a row that they were down 9 and had all the momentum.
Mhm.
and they jack up 2 threes, and they're not feeding the guy that is eating. To me, I think Hurley got lucky. They continued to jack up threes. They did end up making some, and I think he got bailed out by that. And Duke, we'll get into this, they completely collapsed in the last 4 minutes. So that's kind of my reasoning. Look, and Anthony kind of hinted to it. You can win a game and not coach good. Everybody was getting on me for my comments on my post saying that Hurley did not coach good in the last 10 minutes. And everybody, how did he not coach good? They came back, they won. I get that. But he did not coach well. And I will stand by that. He's a great coach. Me saying that doesn't mean I don't think he's a good coach. He's a great
Happens
coach.
all the time.
You can coach bad and win, and you could coach good and lose. But
Absolutely.
Anthony's exactly right. You get bailed out by the result because a couple of things go different. UConn loses, and the talk is completely different. Shire's a genius, and Hurley is the scapegoat. I think Hurley did a job, and I will stand by it.
I joked a second ago, but we talked about Mark Pope knowing the spin move. He's a genius then because you win. When you win, everything's good, everything's grand. You lose, everything's not good, everything's not grand. But that's where I get on fans, especially my own fans and my own team. Be smarter in that. Be able to judge somebody from a whole body of work. As you do these podcasts and you learn that people are just so quick to judge, and sometimes without not good information. That's rough because you can try to explain to them, hey, look at the whole body of work, but it just gets drowned out in the noise of everything because we see it everywhere now. Once the witch hunt starts, once the mob starts, it's over for you.
And the line between winning and losing a lot of games is very thin. I like
very thin.
A play or two different, and the other
free
team
throw,
wins.
a front end of a 1-and-1.
Oh my
That cost Duke. Did they miss 2 front ends of a 1-and-1 in that final few minutes?
Well, hey, think about there's a couple of things coming to my mind. A couple of years ago, Alabama, Michigan goal line stand. The year before that, Michigan TCU. Michigan was the better team. This year, Xavier, what's his name from the Hurricanes, got suspended first half. That definitely made a difference in that game. I mean, there's a lot of variables to play out. That's why I will always say about this tournament, I love the tournament. I don't want them to change the tournament. I think it's very exciting. But the older I get, the more I realize as a fan, if you want me to tell you how the season went, I just put a lot more weight on the regular season, the whole body of work than just a tournament where when you get beat once, and I feel like when I was a kid, that's all I judged, my team by was the tournament. But I think I've matured in that sense and understand the season shows who you really are. The tournament, now you need to make some runs here or there in the tournament, but there's some luck, and sometimes you run into some buzzsaws, and sometimes you catch a lot of breaks. Look, Duke was vulnerable all tournament. Siena could have beat them. St. John's, right there, could have beat them. They had been vulnerable all tournament. So I don't think Connecticut's great. I don't think Connecticut's one of the top 4 teams in the country. I think they're maybe like a top 10 team. I could be wrong, but guess what? They're there. They're there. I think Florida's a top 4 team. There's no doubt in my mind Florida's a top 4 team. They weren't that day. So that's the way this tournament goes.
It is. And people are super emotional. I'm seeing stuff, which is outrageous, but John Shire, he chokes. Look, I'm gonna clown a lot of what Duke did on Sunday, but I will say, look, Elite 8 this year, Final Four last year, Elite 8 the year before. Was this his 4th or 3rd year? 2023, lost in the second round to Tennessee. Was that his first year, maybe?
I think it's his 4th.
Yeah, it's his 4th. Yeah.
Okay, so first year he comes in, he gets to the second round. Second year, Elite 8.
Yep.
3rd year, Final Four. This year, Elite 8.
But I will say this. He was a coach in waiting, came off that Coach K staff, so he was kind of transitioned in there. And also, last year he had Cooper Flagg pretty much fall in his lap. And then this year, the Boozer twins, with his dad playing there and being a Duke alum. I don't have no problem with this year's team with him. I don't even have no problem with last year's team because, I'm a Cal guy, and I'll tell you, sometimes the best team gets beat. Houston, I don't think was better than Duke last year, but they were good enough where they could beat them on a night, and they beat them that night last year. And that's the way it works. And so if I'm going to take up for Cal in that sense, which I have, I can't knock him for this because it's very similar
I
in my
was gonna
mind.
say you're naming off all that talent that he
Yeah,
had. Cal
yeah.
had a lot of talent too.
No,
So
I agree. I
again,
agree.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna
Conk and
And you don't
Nipple
see me
last year.
knocking him because I think there's a lot of luck to this tournament. Anybody can beat anybody on a given night if you run into the wrong team.
and
You'll never convince me the boy that hit 13 threes against us. I think they beat every team in the country at night. I don't think we defended that boy bad. That boy was fading away, throwing it over his freaking shoulder. I think he
we
closed his eyes one time and shot. I mean, dude, that dude wasn't getting beat that night.
I'll send you a video that you'll like, Anthony. You might not like what you hear in it, but you'll like
Okay.
it because it's a guy that breaks down basketball, just like you watch them videos in football, breaking down
Yeah.
plays and slowing it
Yeah.
down. Josh, have you seen it?
Yeah.
The guy that broke down that Oakland game,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
goalkeeper game. Yep.
we didn't guard him very well.
Well,
No.
we might
was
not have
open.
early.
He was
We might
open
not
a
have
lot.
early, but late we was all over that motherfucker, and he was
There
fucking fading
there
away.
was at least 3 or 4 where I was like, "Well, how the hell does anybody make that?" But
But
yeah, he got a lot of good looks. I'm gonna let you see that, Anthony.
But I felt like we knew that was the guy that was beating us. The whole team did. Whether people think Calvin coach or not, the team realized it, and they were all over him, and they still couldn't. I mean, it was that boy's night. I like both Cal and Pope. I just don't know if Pope's mentally able to do the job. I think he's a good enough coach. I just don't know if his mental game's strong.
Speaking of mental, are we going to talk about the end of the game?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There's like I said, we're probably gonna spend this whole episode talking about this game. Where you want to go, Josh? You pick because there's still 10 things I want to talk about.
We'll save the best for last. What direction you going right now?
Well, I mean, I gave you my reasoning why I didn't think the last 8 minutes was that great at coaching by Hurley, but let's just get to the last 4 or 5 minutes. I mean, complete meltdown by Duke. I wanted to look at this earlier. I didn't have time, but thinking in my head, I think every one of their main players had a big turnover in the last like 3 minutes. The younger Boozer had the last one. The other Boozer had one right before that, if y'all remember.
Mhm.
One of the only times in the game he tried to dribble, and I think he dribbled it off his foot. The Evans kid, who is the sharpshooter that did not shoot well, he's like, I hate to do this, but he's kind of like Chandler. If he's not hitting shots, he doesn't do a whole lot of other stuff. He played 28 minutes, 7 points. He had a big time turnover where he slipped going to the right. They got a fast break. I know those 3 for sure. Big time bonehead turnovers and just bad decision making in that. UConn, I guess they went and won it, but Duke lost that game.
Mhm.
Do you give more credit to UConn for winning it, or did Duke do more to lose it?
I think the stars aligned. If I was Shire, the one thing that I was kind of just wondering is, I know he didn't, score a million points. I still think he's your point guard. And if he was good enough to play the game before, he led the second half, 11 points against St. John's there. They don't win the game. Foster only playing 14 minutes. I think Shire tried to get cute.
He didn't have one stat in 14 minutes.
You're playing for a Final Four appearance, dude. So I just think you got to play more 14. If he's healthy enough to be out there to play, he's healthy enough to play more than 14 minutes. He's been their point guard all year. He was the reason they won the St. John's game. Without him in the second half, they don't win that game.
I remember twice in the St. John's game where he took it to the rack and got stuck up underneath the rim late in the game.
Well, he had 11 points in the second half, and he definitely, from what I've seen of it, he was definitely a big part.
I'm not a big fan of that dude. What do you think about him, Josh?
Of the point guard, he's okay. I mean, maybe if he's the one who's handling the ball instead of Boozer there at the end, maybe the outcome's different.
And
Who knows?
With
But,
that,
I mean,
you're probably right.
Duke had a time. I mean, there were so many things Duke could have done different. They could have had a different point guard, could have had a timeout, could have just thrown the ball up in the air as high as they could and just hoped it landed with
Me and Charlie
0.1
said that.
seconds.
Yeah.
Look, I think I said it just a few minutes ago. I think the only thing Duke could have done to lose that game in 10 seconds is what they did. And then they get on your boy Evans for not putting his hand up. But that dude's not Steph Curry. You know?
I don't care. You got to put your hand up.
But if you do put your hand up, maybe he sees that. Now you can get a little closer shot. That was my opinion. I'll give the guy a 40-footer all day. But if I put my hand up and lean in, maybe that gives him a little momentum to go around me, get a 25-footer instead of a 40-footer. I don't know. I'm not mad at him for that.
You got to put a hand up. I actually, it's funny that happened. So on Saturday, I think there was a play very early in the Iowa game. Took it to the rack, kind of stopped with a little 10-foot turnaround, and the defender was right in front of him and did not put his hand up. And I stopped it, I rewound it, and I recorded it. And my plan was throughout the day, because that was very early in the Iowa game, I was going to continue to find spots where guys didn't put their hands up, and I was going to keep recording them, and I was going to do a video on that Saturday. I wish I would have, because it would have played great. Dude, you got to get a hand up. Don't
at least
foul.
get it in his eyes. At least try to get it between his eyes and the basket.
These kids do not put their hands up anymore on defense. The game has changed so much. I won't get into it, but it's so much, so many.
Do you think? Let me ask you this. I wonder that too. Just with young people, I try to figure it out. Do you think it's because they put so much emphasis on shooting that if they keep their hands up the whole game, it wears? No, I'm serious. It wears their arms out for shooting.
No.
I mean, seriously.
I think they're lazy. And
listen, I always play basketball with my hands up, but after all game, it can't wear your arms out a little bit, having them up all game. And maybe that messes with their shooting stroke. I don't know.
I was always taught on defenses when you work hard and on offenses when you relax. So
I think it's opposite now.
Hey, did y'all see
me
what?
too, Charlie? Yeah.
That's
Did you see what
Evans?
Evans? Hey, did y'all see what Evans' Instagram name is? Did y'all see that story?
Put a hand up, or
his Instagram name is Get a Hand Up, and then someone screenshot it, and he's standing there without his hand up, and the dude hitting the 40-footer.
I saw that, but I thought the guy that hit the shot changed his name to that. You're telling me that Evans' screen name was already that?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That is great. These kids need to get their hands up. At least Evans would have looked a little better in that moment, because it didn't look good with his hands down. I get it. It was a deep shot, but dude, put your hands up.
I tell you what drives me nuts is on defense. You talk about the hands up. I agree with that 100%. I would always feel like, even to today, I'm 43 years old, and I could be wrong on this, but I feel like if I want to keep somebody in front of me, I can keep them in front of me. I might have to play off from you a couple feet, but move your feet, stay in front of them, dude. Like, I feel like they let these guys go by them so easy, and maybe it's just a different philosophy than what it used to be. I don't know. I feel like they let penetration happen so easy anymore.
I honestly think the AAU circuit over a 10, 20-year period has completely destroyed the defensive game. And I've heard it, and of course I'm not there, but I really do think it's the truth. I do not think they work on defense on these AAU teams barely at all. Maybe somebody can prove me wrong and send me some kind of practice tape of AAU teams practicing defense. But I really think the only kids that are learning defense are in school ball.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll tell you this. My son's playing a little AAU ball now. He's never played it, but, playing it. The kids can shoot. They can shoot, man. I'm really impressed with how well these kids can shoot at a young age. So I guess that's what they're spending all their time on. But it's a lot easier to shoot when somebody ain't in your face.
So the 1 for 16 that I mentioned, that UConn, I don't know what they finished, because they did hit 3 or 4 there at the end, which helped them win the game. But man, when they were 1 for 16 and continued to shoot, I think they missed 2 more in a row, the 2 that I was talking about earlier. I immediately started thinking Kentucky against West Virginia. John Wall, Bledsoe. We could not buy a jump shot that day. And I feel like myself, and I'm sure you two, and all of BBN was screaming for the last 10 minutes of that game to stop shooting the ball. Right?
West Virginia was daring us. They were pitching in, son. I'm with you.
Now,
you.
Remember that? We didn't stop. We just kept shooting.
Yeah,
UConn just kept shooting. 1 for 16. And you're the coach. Don't you tell your kids, hey, today's not our day shooting. We have got to get to the rack. Seriously, is that not something that happens anymore?
No, they just keep jacking them up.
Am I wrong by saying UConn has not been a great 3-point shooting team this year?
Probably not great, probably good. They finished 5 of 23.
Again, though, you're 1 for 16. Just shoot your way out of it? We'll live and die by y'all just jacking up threes? I do not get it, man.
I'm with you.
Danny, I always want to say Bobby Hurley. Danny Hurley got bailed out. All right, let's talk about the last play, the turnover. I personally am not going to – I do think that could have been a decision that Shire could have made. But if you watch the split screen of Shire watching that play happen, he was kind of looking down the other end of the court. There was 2 guys down there and no defender.
He made the right call. Like, if you call a timeout, you let them set their defense up. But he made the right call. It just didn't work.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, when the freshman got the ball there and the double team came, he could have quickly called a timeout. But I think his focus, Hurley's focus, was on – I think his eyes were like this. There's 2 guys down here. Just get
you're a 98% winner from right there.
Yeah,
you're a 98% winner from right there.
And that's the reason he didn't call the timeout, right?
He was in a good situation. He's a 98%
1 or
winner.
2 defenders back there, maybe he does call that timeout. But he saw that if he makes this pass, the game's over.
Oh, it's over. You don't call a timeout there. You don't want to let them set their defense up. That's when they can stop you. I like the idea of going with it. Anytime that you feel like you're at an advantage, you do it. I feel like a lot of coaches call timeouts, set up a play because they're scared. Because they're scared to go ahead and run the play. But to me, it's all about percentages. And yeah, it might suck. You might only be a 10% chance of winning it if you don't call a timeout. But if you do call a timeout, now you're only a 4% chance. It's like coaches in football, say it's 4th down and they want to talk about a play, but they got 3 timeouts with a minute and a half to go. I know you want to call that timeout, but you got to call your play. You got to run it. And you got to save those 3 timeouts for defense. That way, if you don't get it, you'll have a chance to go timeout, timeout, timeout. I know you want to talk about it, but that's why you practice all year.
I would typically agree, and I do agree, but when the freshman picked up his dribble 2 steps before half court, we could argue that he was the one that was scared. And maybe
he didn't want to shoot those free throws.
You could be right. I know you mentioned that to me the other day, Anthony.
Yeah,
you could be spot on with that. But I'll tell you this: looking back, I bet he'd rather be standing on that free throw line than what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
And look, it might not even have been the free throw. It might have just
1-1.
He saw that they brought that double team right on him. I think if he gets across half court, they immediately foul. Right?
Yeah.
I think they were only playing it until he got across half court. As soon as he stepped over half court, they were going to foul.
Yep.
2 more power dribbles, get across half court. But, man, I do think he kind of buckled on the pressure by picking up the dribble right there. You don't pick that dribble up right there 2 steps before half court.
I kind of feel like maybe like the whole defensive thing might have been planned. We say he had some bad coaching moves early because those 2 boys came at him at an angle and they all jumped at the same time. It was almost like they planned. He knew both those guys were open, but they jumped really high and they jumped from those angles. It almost looked scripted to me.
I agree. When I say I don't think he coached well, I don't mean he didn't do anything well that 8 minutes. He did, and you're probably right. If we went back and dissected it, and you know what? I guarantee you're right, because if you heard the interview with Boozer after the game, they asked him, what did Shire say in the timeout right before that play? And he said, be strong with the ball. The double team's coming.
Dude, how would you have to look? I get it. They got at their media obligations. I know they get paid money. I would do it if you pay me the money. Do y'all not feel for the kid at all having to go on camera after that? Get the fucking camera out of his face. But I know they're not going to do that, dude.
I know. That's the worst moment of March Madness. We've seen it happen to Kentucky players in buzzer beaters. They immediately, go after the kids and see them. Yeah.
Did you hear Pitino? I don't usually agree with Pitino, but after that loss to Duke, he said something about you should let the losing team do their stuff first and get out of
Right.
here. I kind of agree with that. Damn, dude, they just lost. Their season's over.
Last game, lot of those guys are leaving that school, and they're gone. It'll be the last time they got to hit the podium or have a
Yeah,
camera in their
or that
face for
group
some
to
of 'em.
play together. I mean, you spend. I
Mhm.
don't care if it is just a year, dude. A year is a long time when you've sweated together and been boys together and traveled together. And a lot of times in today's world, it's the last time you're going to play together.
And we actually talked about this a handful of weeks ago. I honestly think they should wait till the next day.
Yeah.
Wait till the next. I do think that with the money and the fame and everything, I do kind of feel like they're obligated to speak at some point. But I do not like after the game, and I actually think it should be 12 hours to 24 hours later. Why are we talking to these kids,
They
college
get paid.
players?
Mhm.
I get it, but I still think it should be look, at the same time that I think they're obligated to talk, I could actually argue that they're not obligated to talk. They
Right.
play the game.
Yeah.
Why do they got to sit there and freaking tell you every mistake what they were thinking? What do you think they were thinking? What do you think Boozer was thinking after the ball got tipped and the dude was about to shoot the freaking three? Why we got to ask him that?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I'm good with if they have to talk. I'm good with that being part of the deal. Give them 12 hours, dude. Let them sleep on the shit. It is the worst part of March Madness, and you know why? Because it gets me feeling bad for Duke players. I can't do
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
I had to turn it off. I had to
I
turn
didn't
it
even watch it because I knew it was going to be bad for the boy. Like, Rex made a good point to me. The Connecticut player missed a free throw, and Rex said, "Dude, Dad, he looks like he's going to cry." I said,
Yep.
"Bub, that was a big free throw." So there must have been a moment where the Connecticut guy missed one of those free throws, one of the big ones there. And Rex said he was, almost in tears. And of course, I told him the Jackson Dart story. I said, "Don't you remember me and Charlie talking about the Jackson Dart story?" I said, "Look, Bub," I said, "sometimes it gets emotional when you want it really bad and it don't work out for you." I've always said who I want on the free throw line late in the game. I want a Peterson from Kansas on the free throw line. I want a Sheldon Sharp that played for us before at Kentucky. I want somebody that's just there for the money, baby. I don't want somebody that's emotional. No, I'm serious. I wouldn't want to be on the line. Say I was a UK basketball star and on the line to go to the Final Four. No, thank you. My nerves would be too bad. A person like that couldn't handle it because it means something to them. You need somebody that's just there for the money, baby. There's no attachment.
I mean,
That's the only time I want them like
that.
that. But that's when I want them like that.
Bring on Tyron
Yeah.
Stokes.
Speaking of him,
He
he's
can't handle that.
every time I look up, the McDonald's All-American game's on. Every time I look up, he's scoring. Or I just see the stats. He's got 12 points, 10 rebounds. It's not a ton of points. The game's about over, but they're blowing him out, and who knows how many minutes he played. But every time I look up, he's scoring. Looks like he's playing really good. So
I don't think we can afford him. Cal said we're not getting as much money this year. So Cal knows something.
Cal.
Yeah, he said that dude, he ain't getting as much money. He don't have no recruits, and he sure in the hell don't know what he's doing. But that's after Mark Pope took a jab at him, several jabs, but he finally got back at him. I needed Duke to finish off a parlay, and at the last second, I wasn't going to do it. But at the last second, it was for a decent amount of money. I went and hedged it. So I was hedged to it.
Hey, can y'all hear this?
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that?
Yep.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Every time Anthony says Cal, I'm beeping it out.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I'm fucking with you.
Son, every Kentucky fan, not everyone, but a lot of Kentucky fans starting to realize they are. They won't admit it. They won't admit it. They're not going to admit it. They're not going to admit it, but they know. They know. I've made the arguments about the COVID super senior and everybody. I know y'all ain't going to admit it either. But you gave Cal $23 million. Son, we'd had all them MRFers out here. We had A-Cuff, the boss stuff.
We had them
We'd
anyway.
had everybody, son.
We had them anyway. And he lost by 21 to Arizona.
It's no argument no more, dude.
I mean, he's still got his ass blown out.
The COVID senior is gone.
He beat a 11 seed to 12
The COVID
seed.
Seniors, the kids going to the G League, they're gone.
With
the money we're giving Pope, you give Cal that money, he'd be on top of the world. We got a guy that can't even mentally hold up to the job.
It was time for a change.
Well, it was time because y'all made that agenda up. The fans made that agenda up.
He hated us. He hated the administration.
would love to have him right now. Everybody else would love to have him but us.
He hated Mitch Barnhart. No, I know Mitch, and Memphis don't want him. UMass don't want him.
I've took up for Mitch Barnhart for a lot of years. I'm starting to believe that guy is the problem with the whole thing.
Exactly.
Dude. I'm serious.
Exactly.
I'm
He
dead
burnt
serious.
the Calaberry Bridge.
I think he's stealing money and everything, dude. I do. I think I had a bad read on that son of a bitch. I'm serious. He hides everything. He's so secretive about everything. I think he's the problem. Glad to see him go.
All right. Real quick before we move on. Hey, y'all seen it, right?
Yep.
You know why I didn't see it originally? Because I was running around my house like a madman.
I didn't see it originally.
I didn't either.
ESPN wasn't going to let us know about it. That's for sure. I still think it's a big cover-up going on about it right now. I know they're covering it, but I think the only reason they're covering it is because it's got so much play. At first, they weren't saying nothing about it, and it was going on for a little bit before they even started covering it some.
Where I messed up not seeing it is I rewound it. I was rewinding my TV.
Jock, I'm gonna kick it right back to you. We didn't even tell it what we're talking about.
Oh.
After the game, right after the shot, Hurley, if you haven't seen it, celebrating, ends up face to face with the ref, just face to face, and it looked. I feel like I could look at it a bunch of different ways, but Josh, I just had to tell the people what the hell we was talking about.
Yeah. Hurley was. He was forehead to forehead.
Yeah, forehead to forehead.
If you're trying to show it, Anthony, you're nowhere near the camera.
Okay.
I can see it, but I'll cut it in. I'll cut it in.
All right.
But like the reason I missed it is I was rewinding my TV to watch the shot, and then I just fast forward, and I seen the Hurley interview, but I fast forward over the headbutt.
I didn't see it until the next day, but like later in the day, 4 or 5 o'clock. Now, I don't watch national television. I really don't watch television at all. So I don't watch ESPN. I have no clue if they was talking about it on ESPN.
It wasn't being covered. No, it wasn't. I do watch it. I do watch that stuff, and it wasn't being covered. The first time I heard about it is when you made a TikTok, and I'm getting the messages late because my phone's messed up right now. And I look at it, and I just think it's one of, we send a lot of messages. I'm going to watch this video. And when I looked at it, I about shit my pants. I was like, how in the world did they not? How did he have the balls to do that? He's a smart guy. You could have just you should have cost your team. And B, you had enough courage and you knew he was that much of a punk that he wasn't going to call it. But that's Roger Ayers. That's Mr. Give Cal technical every game. I mean, that's the same guy Cal's had issues with, Roger Ayers. I don't know what was going on. I don't know how you don't call that.
So everybody knows there was still 0.4 seconds left when Hurley has this confrontation with the referee. It was unbelievable. For someone to just mean mug. I mean, I've seen guys just look at a ref without making the contact he did and get a technical.
Dude, he made contact with his head. He tilted his head and made contact with him.
Yeah, let's be clear. There was absolutely contact, which is
and then I'm watching it. He stares at it as he's walking away with swag.
He got his jacket.
Got his jacket half over. I'm going to whoop your ass.
So I'm going to be honest. As soon as I saw it, 100% thought, holy shit, this dude, I already knew he was an asshole, but what? And I said in my video exactly what Anthony just said. How the hell does he have the balls to do this shit? And my first thought is, man, that could have really hurt his team. Now, I posted a video and there was some comments saying the ref walked up on him. So I go back and watch it again and saw it a completely different way than I saw it the first time. I guess I was just assuming that it was all all Danny Hurley.
Dude, I'm watching it. As Hurley goes up to him.
Walk up on him.
Okay, maybe they come up to each other, but as Hurley starts to lean in with his head, the official starts to pull back, and he still comes into him. I'm watching it. He starts to pull his head back and puts his hand on his chest, almost like, get away, like I'm a bitch.
I'm gonna have to watch that again because it didn't look to me like it was kind of mutual. I felt like there was a little stare down there for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, Hurley, we know Hurley is a psycho.
Dude, there was definitely a little stare down there for a second. So here's my thing. At first I thought just typical Danny Hurley, and wow, he's got some balls, because if they call technical right there, I mean, we'll talk about that in a second, but holy shit. But then I look at it a little bit different way, and I did see what looked like the ref maybe coming at him. Now, I think there's another way to look at it. I think there's 2 or 3 other ways. It was 0.4 seconds left. The referee might have been on a beeline, and I think this is probably what was happening. I don't think the ref was walking up on him. I think the ref was beelining right to the scorer's table to look at the shot, see how much time was left, right?
Yep.
I mean, they had to be. I think Hurley was on dude was in another world there for about 10 seconds, just celebrating, as he should be. That was a crazy moment. I feel like he kind of turned and he was right there. So I don't even want to say that Hurley walked up on him. I feel like he turned into him. I don't think he planned it. But my last point is, it does kind of look like maybe they were buddies, because I can also see this. I played a lot of basketball in my day. You're at the park with your buddies. You win a big game, heated game, make a big play. I could see myself running up to Josh after we just made a game-winning play and getting up on Josh's forehead. Yeah. So to me, there's a bunch of different angles.
I'm watching this, and not unless it's AI, the official's clearly pulling away from him as Hurley's coming in with his head. The official's starting to put his hand in the chest. He's coming in with his head. Official's kind of going away from him. He's pulling away from him. It's clear as day. And then as he's walking away from him, he mean mugs him as his shirt's half on, like he's in the playground ready to whoop his ass.
Now, I did see somebody also said that Roger Ayers had been the referee in a couple Final Fours that UConn had been in, maybe even the championship game that they won. I guess UConn's got some favorable calls from him. Maybe it's the complete opposite of the Cal thing, because you're right about Roger Ayers had it out for Cal. Maybe it's the opposite. You know, some of these guys, maybe they are buddies. I don't know. Is collusion going on? It almost looked like a little, we got him.
He knew that referee was there. I'm watching it. He did a cute little spin move. You're right. He did spin into him, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He did. If you watch it, he goes over there. He kind of spins into him. He knew as soon as he turned around, he knew that motherfucker was going to be there. He knew it.
In his 3 to 4 seconds of crazy emotion, he's thinking, let me go headbutt a ref.
Well, he had done calmed down for a second or two, and he kind of circled around. And as soon as he come around, dude, it didn't surprise him or nothing. As soon as he comes around, he goes right into T-Rex on him, son. Right into freaking dude. I'm telling you, I've looked at it probably 1,000 times. He knew what he was doing.
So here's the last question. If he calls a technical foul, what happened? Does the internet explode? Like, do all of our phones just blow up in our hands? Because
for being a dumbass coach.
Holy shit. Yeah. Seriously. What happens if he makes a technical?
I would immediately try to find who is the local UConn radio station, and that is what I'll be trying to tune into.
I can't even imagine what would have happened. For one, the referee, which, you know, Roger Ayers is kind of a known referee, but if he makes that call, he's the new Angel Hernandez. Like, literally everybody would know who he is. His face would be plastered all over the internet and every news and television station. And I do think it would be the most controversial call in the history of sports. Can anybody think of a different one?
I don't think it would be. I think most people that would watch this video, I don't know how we're going to define controversial, but I think, say they did call the technical and then they watched the video of it, I think 9 out of 10 people, maybe more, would say that's a technical foul.
No way. Half the people.
I do not think you can make contact with an official like that. I just don't think you can do that.
Half the people are going to argue that there was 0.4 seconds left and it didn't affect the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I agree. Typically, I'll agree with that. I've always been that kind of guy. Close calls, let the players decide it within reason. But that's past the within reason. You cannot make contact like you're going to whoop the referee's ass. I mean, you just can't do that.
I can't do it. And I actually lean towards thinking that it should have been called regardless of how much time is left. But There's been plenty of times where crazy calls are made late in games, and we say, let the players play. Why are we affecting it with a call like that, like an off-ball call or some shit?
But the
Regardless of your stance on, I don't care what your stance is on the video.
right.
If that is called a technical, it is absolutely. Name me another more controversial call in any of sports.
I guess we're defining it different because I think anybody that watches that would say you got to
So
call
you
that.
think if they call a technical, the internet doesn't explode?
I think once people calm down and really look at it and they're like, damn, what the hell? I think Hurley would go on to be the idiot. They would be like, what the hell were you doing? I think he becomes the idiot at that point.
I think he would explode.
No, it would explode. There's
No,
doubt
he
it would
would.
explode.
Dan Hurley would explode. He'd probably end up
double
getting
technical.
he would end up getting 2 technicals. He would be suspended for the beginning of next year.
He might have fought him.
Yes, assault.
But again, you're letting your thoughts on what you think about the video cloud.
No, I promise I'm not. That's my honest thoughts, Charlie. I promise it is.
If that's called, it's talked about forever.
Sure. Well, I guess when you use the word controversial, I'm looking at like 2 different people seeing it 2 different ways. And I could be wrong, but I feel like once all the smoke cleared and everybody goes back and looks at it and tries to come up with their opinion of what they truly think about it, once all the emotion's gone, I feel like 9 out of 10 people will be like, what the hell were you thinking?
But I think half the people might say, what were you thinking? But I don't think half the people would come to the conclusion that, yeah, that was the right call. Josh, what do you think? What do you think if they make that call right there?
Like you said, everything explodes. I think he gets another technical. They might end up covering. Duke might end up covering the spread. Dan Hurley loses his side bets.
You're probably
that's a good question because one technical might not have lost the game for him. Is that 1 shot or 2 shots? Do y'all know?
I want to say that would have been 1.
But there's no way if he gets teed up, he doesn't get another one. The whole place go. I mean, there might be, dude, there could have been stuff thrown on the court. It's a 45-minute ordeal to shoot those free throws.
Controversial as a motherfucker, dog. Dude, that would, I cannot think of any other call that would be talked about more than that. The only thing
it would be talked about.
The only thing that comes to my mind is the pass interference call in the Vikings Saints game 10 years ago. Remember that one?
No, yes, sir. I do. A bad call. Screwed them.
It was a call that wasn't, or it was a non-call. I can't remember. But that, and there's probably some other ones.
The Hurricanes in Ohio State, Miami, pass interference for the national championship.
The Tom Brady Tuck rule.
The Tuck rule. That's a good one, Josh. The Tuck rule.
The phantom pass interference call. That was national championship. That game was over.
I think the Brady Tuck rule.
I think you might have picked the one that maybe would have still been bigger, that Tuck rule. But man, I just cannot imagine what would have happened if
and for it to go in like Duke's favor. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine?
I guess that's where I see it different than y'all. And I'm not saying I'm right. I just see it that it couldn't be a deal like they got screwed again. I think people would look at that and be like, what the hell was he thinking? Like, I think the blame would go on him, not the referee at that point. I'd be interested to know like what a big group of people would have thought on that.
I still think it would be close to 50-50 just because I think people would have that, it didn't affect the game, which, the game's
You just can't make contact with an official in a fighting manner. Like that's automatic ejection, not an automatic tee. You're out of here.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should have been. I do
they
think
were going to they were all tore up over Jackson Dart giving the referee a high five. This dude just freaking mean mugged him, head-butted him, and then stared as he walked away. I mean, I don't think y'all are grasping what this dude just did.
What do you mean we don't grasp him? We see it.
I mean, dude, he head-butted him like it's like we were kids. Like when you were kids, acting like an idiot, head to head, and then you walk away like, bitch.
All right, let's get to the rest of these games. I told you we were going to talk mostly about Duke.
Yeah, we spent an hour on it.
It is what it is. I could spend another hour on it.
Right, we could. Yeah, it was just a perfect storm of just, I don't even know, man. It was just
a perfect storm of fucking greatness, Josh. I know exactly what it was. It was fucking awesome.
It was awesome.
And they
Boozer
weren't.
is
They
a
were.
hell of a college player. I'm not saying
Yeah,
I
he
don't think
is.
his game translates to the NBA.
I don't think he's going to be a superstar. He'll probably play 12 years. You know.
Oh, he's got a spot there. It's just will he be a
He's
star?
going to get 11 and 8 for 12 years.
I don't
you
know
know?
if he will.
I'm going to tell you this. I've never seen a guy that gets his shot blocked so much, but it don't affect him. Like he keeps going. You block him, and so what? I give him credit for that because a lot of people, they get rattled by that. As soon as he gets blocked, he grabs it. I'm going to tell you
Yeah.
what he should be as a tight end because
Mhm.
he plays below the rim, which that's why I worry about him in the NBA. But that dude's got some hands on him. When he grabs the ball, you ain't taking it from him. There was a ball on the ground. There was like 3 guys going for it. He came in late. I just watched him grab it from them dudes. His hands were monster hands.
All right, so give Marino just one of his hands and half of Jasper's confidence, and we've got a fucking all
And
of
we
that.
have Boozer. And we have Boozer.
Yeah.
I think Marino's more athletic than Boozer.
He's taller. He's got more length.
All right, let's see. Sweet 16 games real quick. Thursday, we had Texas and Purdue.
Yeah, a little last second shot.
Yeah, Purdue was actually down. Texas had a nice little lead in the first half, and
Texas outplayed Purdue that game.
They did.
Texas got more. They got more athletes.
Purdue foul baited them all game. Purdue is the most foul baitingest team there is. They'll hook up with you and then they'll flop. They're good at it. They're good at it.
Braden Smith gives that. How many times he give that pump fake and get foul?
Dude,
he's good though. I like that kid.
I tell you, the mixed guy, he was getting fouls on all their forwards, and it was all like on junk foul bait and stuff.
Like, it was the guy that hit the game winning shot.
Yeah, that's him. He's the best at it. He's better than the guard at it. He'll hook up with you, and then next thing you know, he'll be flying backwards, and then they'll look at him like, "What the hell just happened?" And there'll be a foul called on him.
All right, Iowa, Nebraska was a pretty decent game, but I think the story of that game, coming out of a timeout, I think 30 seconds left or 50 seconds left. It was under a minute, down 3, I think, at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska down 3. I think they had just scored to cut it to 3.
Yeah.
Timeout. Nebraska comes out, and Iowa inbounds the ball all the way down court, and they just get a wide open. Actually, the Nebraska guy hustled back, fouled him. He got the and one. Yeah, he didn't just get a wide open 3, but he got fouled. Come to find out, 4 players on the court.
Hoiberg. He didn't have all of his boys on the court. Hoiberg.
What? Did he do that shit on purpose, Anthony?
No.
That's a bold
Sometimes
move.
you make coaching error.
What was the
good Look, he's been a great coach for Nebraska. He made a coaching error. It happens. We just talked about it.
Was it coaching error? Was it an assistant thing? A lot of times coaches are talking.
They screwed up.
Hey, I know, but I'm just saying there's no telling whose fault that was.
I remember a time we was coaching football and we had 10 players on the field and they kept pointing at us, man.
Yeah, and it's not always the coach's fault.
That's right.
It could be a little bit of everybody's fault. It could have been a certain assistant that is in charge of doing that. I don't know their system, but I know a lot of times in a timeout, the head coach sits down on a chair and has his team in front of him, and he ain't worried about who's checking in and I'm sure he's telling them who's going in. But I would say maybe an assistant is in charge of that. And the player, how the hell did the player that was supposed to be in not know that he was supposed to be in?
He was too nervous. He said, hell with this shit.
So I talk about the possible technical call being one of the more controversial calls. Have y'all seen a more boneheaded play?
Not basketball.
Besides calling
I've seen it in football, not basketball.
What other than calling a timeout when you don't have one? Who made a bigger bonehead mistake in the NCAA tournament ever than this? Can y'all remember?
Like you said, probably the Chris Webber timeout.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, 4 guys on the court, Division I, Sweet 16 game.
I would argue to say that the timeout was the bigger because of the situation.
Well, of course,
but I would say the bigger mistake is not having 4 players. I could see somebody calling a timeout when they don't got it. It's only 5 players. This is basketball, not football. It should be easy to see.
Coming out of a timeout. Unbelievable. That's all I got to say about Nebraska. They got their 2 wins.
Yep. We never have talked about them again.
They're off the schneid, but then they go out in embarrassing fashion. Hate that
That
for
was the battle of
Hoiberg.
the corn right there.
Yep.
Nebraska Cornhuskers and Iowa's got all the corn too.
Yep. All right, then the late games on Thursday, Illinois completely handled Houston. They could not
Couldn't score.
They could not buy a shot. I want to say with 8 minutes left, they had like 39 points or some stupid. They ended up with 55, but they struggled to get that 55.
At the 15-minute mark in the first half, it was like 4-2.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. Illinois is really good. Obviously, they're in the Final Four, but man, that was a disappointing outing by Houston. Did not see that coming. And then the other late game, Anthony's daddy gets his head pounded in, 21-point loss.
I predicted that.
Arkansas, the 7 guys was going to catch up to him.
Yeah, it did.
That
It did.
team had was just it was going to catch up to him. And they
I promise you, Arizona was beating a lot of people that night. If
Yeah,
Arizona
yeah.
shoots like that, you're in trouble. They shot well that night.
They caught one of the best 2 teams in the country, and they were going to be hard to beat. But big 21-point win for Arizona there. You all right, Anthony? You good?
If you paid attention to Blitz the Bookie last week, I said Arkansas is going to get their head drummed. It was a bad matchup for them. I was actually proud of Arkansas for scoring 80-something points against one of the best
Right.
defenses in the country. I actually don't think Arkansas played that bad. That was one of the better games I'd seen Arizona play. I think they were focused because of the threat of Arkansas beating them. They knew they had talent, and Arkansas played their game, where Purdue kind of slows it down and makes you play their game. That was going to be a game where both teams went at each other and try to score, and you don't want to score with Arizona. And I think Michigan's going to find that out soon. I think Arizona's on a collision course to win it all.
Arkansas's defense also caught up with them because they were a pretty bad defensive team this year, especially against a good team like that. If you don't play good defense against a Michigan or Arizona, they're going to throw up 100 points on you.
I really think Arizona's just a high level team. I've thought it all year, and I think it even more now.
All right, then on to Friday, Duke and St. John's. I was pulling for St. John's.
Coming off the ACC tournament, I thought Duke was due.
They got
didn't think
lucky.
they
I'm
could
telling
win.
y'all, Foster really came in, helped them that second half of that game. If he don't come in, they don't win that game. They were due for a loss. You're right. You're absolutely. I wasn't sure Connecticut could do it because I haven't been that high on Connecticut this year.
Right.
So,
Same.
and I'm still not crazy high on them, but they're there.
So I mentioned the Evans kid. I'm looking at the box score for the St. John's game. 34 minutes, 25 points.
Yeah, he hit that big 3 on the wing to
Yeah.
kind of seal it.
And then in UConn, I think 28, 29 minutes, 7 points. I know the Boozers get a lot of the credit, and I think that Evans kid and the way he shoots is a big factor for them. Yeah, they slip away. They knock out Ricky P, the Crypt Keeper. Actually, that was the first Sweet 16 St. John's been in like, what'd they say, like 40 years or 30 years?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Right? I didn't.
They got that Mike Rapoli money now.
And did I hear that Patino signed a extension like yesterday? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, I have. And I keep hearing like people say like, well, he might be this job or that job. I would be really surprised just because I know Patino was really good friends with Mike Rapoli. They've done horse racing together. Rapoli's from, Queens. He's pumped a lot of money in that program. I've heard Patino talk about him, calls him Uncle Mike. I feel like they're kind of in it together. But it wouldn't surprise me with Rick. So there you go.
He's retiring at St. John's unless he retires at Kentucky. I think that's the only chance that he leaves St. John's. St. John's.
I promise you, if he comes back, I will denounce fanship until he leaves.
I'll get out of here.
I will. I promise you, I will.
Alabama.
If we are sick enough people to take him back, I just don't want nothing to do with it.
Get out of here. Alabama, their run ends. Michigan, too much. Would they win by 13?
Alabama was up in the first half pretty good.
Yeah,
90-77.
They got outplayed big time late in the game.
They did. They did.
Michigan, once they took over, they took over. What did Alabama do shooting that day?
If Alabama would have hit more shots in the second half, they probably would have been right there. They went cold second half.
Phylon had 35. And then did your boy travel? Did I hear that he got to travel with them?
That was the problem. Brought the weed man with him.
Drug dealer, they brought him.
That was the problem. Brought the weed man with him.
But I did
Uh-huh.
hear, like, the day before the game that they were I guess he had petitioned the judge or something to see if he could travel, and I thought the story said that the judge okayed him to travel with the team,
Makes
so
sense. Get the reefer in, the devil's lettuce, it's,
and then
can't
they
shake.
lost.
I would no way if I was the coach, I would have brought that guy along. There's no way.
All right, the late games on Friday, Michigan State and Connecticut. I didn't watch much of these late games.
Dude, that Tennessee-Iowa State game started at like 10:45.
Yeah, and that game was
That
boring as hell.
Yes, it
Iowa
was.
State do we even got anybody got anything on the Michigan State Connecticut game? Because I
Nah,
did
I
not
didn't
watch
I didn't
Michigan
watch either
State
one
had a
of them.
shot.
the Fears kid he still played pretty good.
Oh,
I felt like
that was a good game. That
I
was a
felt
really
like he
good
had
game.
kind of a quiet and I did watch some of it. I felt like he had a quiet night, but shit, he had 13 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals.
Yeah.
He could have had some more points, I guess, but that's a pretty good stat line. So, yeah, UConn, I told y'all it was gonna happen. Play at home first 2 rounds, sneak their way into the Sweet 16, and then they got a chance, and here they are
Yep.
again. So, Connecticut moves on. As Josh said, Tennessee and Iowa State, that game, I tried to watch some of the beginning of that game. I couldn't believe the Iowa State team I was watching because they
Right.
absolutely destroyed us, and I don't even feel like they ever even tried to crank that defense onto Tennessee like they did us, and they got completely outplayed. Tennessee pretty much controlled that whole game, right? Did that game
Mhm.
never even got close.
No.
Tennessee don't wanna run, Iowa State don't wanna run either. Like, it kinda played into, what Tennessee does well, and then I'm assuming Tennessee had a really good shooting game. I didn't watch it either.
All right, then on to Saturday, Elite 8 games, Iowa and Illinois. Illinois, dude, just rolling right now. The cigarette smoking
Croatia.
Croatian, whatever they got going on, is working right now because Illinois looks really good, and they keep rolling.
Iowa led a
They
lot
keep
of that game. I thought
They
they were
did.
gonna beat them. I got a backdoor cover. I had Illinois, and I got a backdoor cover with that because I felt like Iowa was up most of that game, weren't they?
I mean, they were up at the half,
Okay.
32-28. But wild stat from that game, Iowa, 11 from 30 from 3, okay? Nothing crazy, 37%. But Illinois, 3 of 17. They hit 8 more threes than Illinois and got blown out. Got beat by
lost by
12.
12. That's a crazy stat, Josh.
I mean, 11 for 30 versus 3 of 17.
And you lose by 12. That is nuts. I need to look at the team stats for that one. One more little crazy stat before we move on. I did hear Iowa was the 15th out of 16 of the Sweet 16 teams in NIL spending.
Who was
So,
16? Purdue?
I didn't hear that,
No, they
but
probably spent. I would say
let's
they don't like they spent.
see.
Nebraska?
Yeah, it probably is
I don't know.
Nebraska.
Nebraska got some money.
There was pretty much all big schools
Not
left,
Texas,
though.
Yeah.
Purdue, Iowa. It had to been Nebraska, dude. It had to been.
Yeah.
Nebraska or Purdue,
Mhm.
St. John's, Duke, Alabama, Michigan
Could have
State,
been Iowa
Tulsa,
State. Was it
Tennessee,
Iowa State?
Iowa
No, they
State.
got them.
Well, just there's a path there. There's a path. Look, they didn't make it to the Final Four, but an Elite 8 run with
Mhm.
a fairly low NIL spending. There's a path. Good coaching, good chemistry, good team players,
Yeah.
and there's a path. So
They got hot. They weren't that good all year, but they got hot at the end.
sometimes you see those teams in any sport, youth sports, high school, whatever, that just you look at them, they're like, man, them guys ain't even that good. And then they start playing, you're like, oh, they're a great team. All right, then the second game on Saturday, Purdue actually probably gave Arizona a little bit of a scare, or at least the Arizona fans there for a little bit in the first half. Did they have a double-digit lead?
8-point lead at half.
Yeah, they were up basically the whole first half, and Arizona came out early in the second half, completely flipped the game, and not only won, but took over the second half of that game and won pretty handily. 15-point win after you said they were down by 8, Anthony, at halftime?
Yep. I was nervous. I needed Arizona really bad. I had my futures. I had some bets on them, and I was just scared that Purdue's that team that can make shit ugly and beat you. Foul baiters.
Foul baiters. All right, then
Man.
Sunday, Tennessee, Michigan. Tennessee does what Tennessee does. They don't make the Final Four.
Yes.
And they got destroyed. You want to talk about matchups, Anthony? Terrible matchup, and it showed. They lost by 30.
I
Matter of
love
fact,
Michigan in that
more
game.
than 30. Me too. And Michigan beat the shit out of them, and I loved it. I loved it. Didn't watch much of it because it was over before it started. All right, so that's the Final Four. Of course, Connecticut beats Duke. We want to talk about that again?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, Final Four set. Arizona against Michigan and Illinois against Connecticut. Real quick, before we make our picks, reseed the Final Four. Reseed the Final Four just this one year.
Okay.
or any other year we get in a situation like this.
Okay.
Michigan and Arizona needs to be the championship, man.
It is the championship.
I give Connecticut a small shot because just the coaching and the leadership, the experience. I guess I give Illinois a little bit of a shot because they're hot right now and I like their roster. These are the best two teams. I think they're the best two. And I know late in the season I got on the Florida kick. I was wrong. Maybe not.
They might have been, though. They might have been.
I was wrong because I said they were number one, but I think it was Michigan and Arizona all along.
Florida might have been there, though. I'm with you on the Michigan-Arizona thing, but Florida might have been there with them.
Yeah, I liked Michigan at the beginning of the year. Then I kind of hopped off after the Big Ten tournament. Now I'm back. I'm a bandwagon.
I still don't think they're as
Michigan
good as
fan.
what we think they are.
Oh,
Probably not.
I think they're better than people think they are. I think
There was
Michigan might be.
Oh, I think people think they're pretty good right now. They're 1-point favorite over Arizona.
I still like Arizona, but when I kind of went through a little checklist and broke down strengths and weaknesses of these two teams, there's not many weaknesses for either one of them. But I had more check marks on Michigan. I'm not saying that's my pick. I guess we'll find out here in a couple minutes. But man, Michigan, I think they might be the best overall team. So we're gonna find out, though. It's gonna be.
Hey, I did that shit with Indiana. Try to beat them all year. You've been trying to beat Arizona all year, son. You better give up. Koa Pete's coming at you, baby, all night. Koa Pete, Burris.
I'll take the two Michigan big guys over Koa Pete.
They're not playing Tennessee this week.
It's going to be a hell of a game, and it
remember
should
Purdue
be.
just beat the shit out of Michigan in the Big Ten championship.
And
yeah, I agree. I get it. You're right. I mean, we can always say that, but like we can't say they're unbeatable when Purdue just made them look bad.
They didn't make them look bad. It was a throwaway game.
Okay.
Rick
they were focused on the turn.
Yeah, Pitino and Cal taught him that because we've seen it twice. We've seen it work for us twice in 2012 and 96. So there's an argument. Maybe they threw that game. Bet the other side, get your boosters some money. You know, Anthony?
I think Michigan's had favorable matchups in the tournament. They've had Tennessee, and then they had Alabama, which has no size inside, then St. Louis and Howard. But if you go back to the Big Ten tournament, they got handled by Purdue, and Wisconsin almost beat them the game before that, lost by 3. And Ohio State almost beat them the game before that because I had Ohio State. They only lost by 3 or 4. And then 2 games before that, they only beat Iowa by 2. So they haven't been unbeatable.
Well, there's also an argument to be made, and I know we've pumped up the Big 12 all year, but after seeing how it all played out, there's an argument to be made that the Big Ten was the best conference.
Mm-hmm.
The Big Ten performed pretty damn well in the tournament. I think I heard that they were like 8-0 against the SEC.
I do think the Big Ten was very good. The Big 12 has some major injuries, though. I think Texas Tech was really good. That boy got hurt. That was a big deal.
One time it went down.
Definitely hurt.
And then Iowa State losing that boy was a big deal. That's their leader, too, you know. But, yeah, I think the Big Ten performed really well. It ain't no knock against the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten and the Big 12 were the best conferences. But I will take up for the SEC one little thing. The SEC lost some close games. They lost that one, Vandy and Nebraska. They lost another close one. Who was the other close one they lost? I forget who the other one was. Florida, Iowa. Florida was better than them, dude. I know they weren't that game, but they were better than them.
I mean,
And I
Texas
think
and Purdue. I mean,
yeah.
Texas coming out of the
Yeah,
plane
Texas
game.
was better than them. So, yeah, I know the record ain't great, but I feel like there was 2 or 3 games there where they were better than them, they just lost, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm not saying the Big Ten was or wasn't better,
They were
but
good, though. They were
I
good.
think it was a lot closer than, we were talking like it was the Big 12 and then the Big 10, but I think it was closer to maybe like a 1A, 1B when we're talking about
Yeah,
conference.
I think that's probably a little closer than what we were saying at the beginning.
All
Yeah,
right,
I think
let's
it's
make
fair.
these picks real quick. Final 4 picks. Which ones played first?
The Illinois UConn's played at 6 o'clock. Michigan, Arizona,
All
8:45.
right, they got that right then. They got that right.
Yeah.
All right, Illinois, let's go. Illinois and UConn. Anthony, who you got?
I think Illinois wins it, and I think they control the game. I think Illinois wins that game. I do not think UConn's as good as where they're at. I think they're solid. They're better than solid. They're good. They're good, pretty good. I mean, damn good. But I think Illinois is above damn good, and I think Illinois beats them.
Yeah.
Hey, you need what you need, Anthony, is we need like a chart.
Okay.
The
Yes.
Anthony chart, and because I need to know where these levels are. You always
I don't even know where they're at, so I need to write them down because I
like
don't even know where they're
almost
all at.
good, a little bit better than almost good. I need to know where they line up. So
And you laugh, but I can picture this in my head as I'm telling y'all this.
we
I
got
just
a
can't.
spot right here where we can put this so we can all
Yeah.
remember when you say you always add a new one. I need to see this list because this
The Anthony meter.
I don't even know the list,
Anthony
Charlie.
meter.
I don't even know the list.
All right, so Anthony, you got Illinois. Josh, who you going with?
Man, I liked Illinois all year. I watched them play more than I probably should have, and I had them going to the Elite Eight in my bracket. But I'm going to take. I got to take Illinois over UConn. I think UConn. Man, that's a big emotional win over Duke. A lot to overcome. Got to come back down, refocus on Illinois. I know they're kids and they can refocus, and Dan Hurley can do that. But I still like Illinois. I really like the Wagler kid. They're going to have to shoot better than 3 of 17.
They don't
I mean,
mess with the Croatians, dude. Hurley
no,
better
there's too
not
many.
do his little headbutting thing to the Croatians. They're liable to snap his neck in half, son.
So I'm taking Illinois.
The Wagler kid is really good. He'll be the best player on the court. There's no doubt. I think he might be a top 5 pick in this loaded draft.
Did y'all see the ESPN announcer try to interview the Croatian boys? There was like all 3 of them there, and they said, "Well, and they say it's secret, and they say, "Well, can you give us a little?" No, it's secret, it's fun. I tell
And
you,
some
Croatian
cigarettes.
people are cool. I've known a few. I've told y'all that. Not just one. I've known a few. They're really cool people. They would fit in our world real nice.
Anthony's got dual citizenship. He's USA
Croatian,
and
baby.
Croatian.
When the old Yugoslavia split up, they got the big part of the Mediterranean. It's beautiful, dude. If you see the pictures,
Yeah,
the
it
terracotta
is. It
roofs,
is.
it's beautiful.
Yep. Mhm.
All right, I hate that I'm doing this, but I'm going to be cheering for Illinois, but Connecticut, they got the better coach. They have the experience, and I just think it's going to carry them through. I really do. Give me the experience and the better coach. He's an asshole, but he's a really, really good
He is.
coach. I just think Connecticut figures out another way to get it done, and I'm going to take UConn to the championship. I hate that I'm doing this because they do have 6 now? They got more than Duke.
Yeah.
They got 6. Duke's got 5. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
I think that's right. Coach K's got 5. All of Duke's. Duke doesn't have any without Coach K. 5.
Right.
And I want to say Calhoun got 3, right?
Yep.
Ollie
Kevin Ollie got one. Kevin Ollie got 1.
and Hurley's got 2. They already got more titles than Duke. That's nuts. And they're creeping up. We got 8. Kentucky's got 8. I've never really ever been worried about anybody catching us, to be honest. Have y'all ever been worried about anybody catching us in titles?
Well, don't
Yeah,
UCLA
I
have
don't
one?
count them as much as I used to.
well, yeah,
When I
they
was a kid, I count.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah. I never do it. So when I was a kid, the title thing was big to me. When I was a kid, it's not as big to me no more. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Hell yeah, it's still big. It's still big. We're
Yeah, I
second.
hear you, and I
We're
respect
second in
that. I
titles. We
respect
don't
that.
want anybody to come up and tie us.
No, I
I've
don't
No.
want nobody, but I don't sit around I remember when I was a kid, I used to always beat my chest on that stuff, and
Mhm.
now it's just, I don't know, I'm older and just got more problems to worry about than how many titles and how many wins we got.
No, it's because you've never had to worry about it.
Maybe you're right.
We've
Maybe you're
never had
right.
to worry about it. But I'll tell
Yeah.
you, if UConn somehow gets a title here and they end up with 7,
Yeah.
we gonna be thinking about it a little
I
bit more.
know.
Yeah.
And I guess it bothers me a little bit because I feel like I love history and I love the past and I love, it's something I like, but I do feel like we have some fans at UK that are just holding on to the past like it's everything. And I do think there's a part of the world where you got to think of now and the future. And so maybe it's a piece of, I'm bitter towards that part of the fan base that don't want to be the it school now. They want to keep talking about the past and what things were. I want to, be the team of the future.
Titles are forever.
I get
That's
that.
what
Mhm.
you
I
that's
get
what
that.
you
No,
play
I
for.
get that.
So
I get that.
anybody that's like, "Oh, Kentucky fans, you're living in the past." Dude, we will always talk about our 8 titles, and
I
you will
don't like
always
when they start
talk
using the word
about 5
standard.
or
That's
however
not
many your
Kentucky
teams got.
standard. That's not. I don't like when they start using that. I just don't like it. I don't think it makes us sound good. I think it makes us sound ungrateful when people start saying that. Not maybe ungrateful ain't the right word, but I think it makes us sound like we're better than everybody else. And I just don't think that's a good, just a good image you want to put out there when you're trying to get recruits and become the cool team again. That's just me.
What,
That's just me.
saying that you have I don't know.
No, just kinda going, around, like, kinda gloating about, it's that's the standard, that ain't the Kentucky standard. Look, everybody's trying to win in my eyes, and, like, we're no better than nobody else. We're trying to win, and, but we're not better than nobody, and I know me and you, none of us think that way, but there are people, dude, just think because we're Kentucky, this shit's just supposed to fall on our lap. It still takes
Mhm.
hard work and doing things right, and there's a lot of Kentucky fans that still think that just because we have Kentucky on the front of our jersey, these kids are supposed to just flock to us. And I think them days are over. And I think if we have that mindset, we're never going to hit the next level to where we need to get to be the cool school for the next 20 years.
I don't care what sport you're in, you should always celebrate your championships
No
forever,
doubt. I
forever.
agree with that. I agree with that.
Now
That ain't the part
now
that bothers me.
now, like, if you become irrelevant, like UCLA hasn't won one since what, 94,
95.
95? That's literally 30 years ago. And then the 10 that they had before that was all in like a 11-year span in the 60s. Uh, then I can see, well, why are we hanging on to 10 titles in the 60s?
And
Even
not
though
just
you
that,
should
but they were dirty
even though
titles
you
too.
should
Bob might have tell you that.
all right, Michigan, Arizona. Josh, who you
You
got?
know, I've been riding with these guys. I've said it before. I've been riding with these guys 6, 8 weeks. I thought they were the best team. I'm riding with them Arizona Wildcats.
I don't know what game it was for me. I watched them play earlier in the year. I forget what game it was, and I was so impressed with them. I bet them a few times. They won for me a few times. I watched them a few more times, and I thought they were the best team in the country. I've held that belief for a while, and I'm not just saying it to hold on to something. I think they're the best team. I think they're. I don't think they have no weaknesses. They're deep, and I just not only do I like their players, I like the personalities. I heard a story that
Mhm.
one of the guys had got hurt, and he said, "Hey, I want him to be the starter. I'll be the sixth man." Cola's not used to being not a starter, and this was an upperclassman that's a really productive player on their team. I mean, that's the kind of shit that wins titles, dude.
Mhm.
That's the kind of unselfishness that wins titles. Not the guy saying he was offered $9 million by Kentucky.
Oh, that's why you sure have been getting in your feelings an awful lot
It
lately.
might
Tell you
be.
that.
I ain't got in my feelings,
You
dude.
are getting in your
Dude,
feelings
we
a
got a
lot.
weird ass coach, dude.
Is
He's
Todd
weird.
Golden,
He's
Bob
weird, dude.
Todd
He's weird.
Golden,
I'm
Danny
not saying he ain't
Ainley,
good. He's weird.
Malachi Marino, Pope. Now you're mad at
I'm
the
not in my feelings about
Michigan
Marino.
kid.
I just don't see where y'all cannot see talent with Marino. That we just see it different.
I don't see how you don't see him struggling.
Well, I'm gonna
Or
tell
you
you,
just
I think he's gonna be
I
one that
ain't
gets
getting
one of
into
the
I
bigger.
ain't getting
I
into
think
that.
he's gonna be one of the ones that get the bigger paycheck. And they said if Kentucky don't pay him, that he's gonna really attract a lot of money in the portal. What I've read.
And that's fine, and that's fine. But he struggled for a big part of the season.
He was a freshman. He was a freshman big man. And I made a TikTok about it. He had better numbers than 4 of the top better big men in the country this year when they were freshmen.
Anthony completely refuses to say that DJ Lagway struggled. He threw like 46 interceptions.
They had issues as a
Yeah,
team.
look,
I bet you he got paid in the portal because guys with knowledge of the game, they know that he's talented. Just like Moreno will get paid. I was reading a thing the other day that he's going to be the cornerstone of the team, and that's what they're. He's going to be really good.
DJ Lagway struggled all year, and you couldn't say
their team struggled all year,
and you couldn't say it.
Their team struggled all year.
I'm taking Michigan. You're
gonna get your feelings. You've been trying to beat them all year too, Charlie. You tried with Houston. You tried with Iowa State, Houston. It's now Michigan. They're going down too.
I'm taking Michigan. Maybe I am trying to beat Arizona here. I've not been trying to beat Arizona all year, but
I did it with Indiana football, so I can appreciate it.
Michigan, I think, has the more complete team. I think they have more check marks when I go down my pros and cons, and I'm gonna take Michigan. Maybe I am chasing here, but I think this is a great game. I wish they would reseed this shit. Give us Michigan against UConn and Arizona against Illinois. Flip it the other way. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like it. I like the idea. I don't think they should, but I like it.
It's a neat idea. They'll never do it,
But I mean, the NFL does it. The NFL reseeds. College baseball does all types of different shit with their system.
Isn't that part of the bracket? Oh, that's like the special part about the upsets and stuff. I don't know.
It is, but the NFL does it. But either way, I don't think they should do it.
When did the NFL start doing that?
They've been doing it. They've been doing it.
Do y'all think it's the right move to do? Do you think it's the right move to do it?
No.
I don't care.
No. In this tournament?
No,
not
the NFL.
The NFL.
Absolutely. The one seed that gets the bye should play the bottom seed. They shouldn't be affixed into the 4 or 5 if the 6 or 7 fucking wins.
The bracket was made. I can see it both ways. I
love it. All right. I'm going Michigan. So I got Michigan, UConn, and I'm taking Michigan. There's no way I'm picking UConn. I will be cheering for Illinois to beat UConn. I hope y'all are right about that one. And honestly, I'm not going to be mad if I'm wrong about the Michigan because I like this Arizona team. Really excited to watch that matchup. But give me Michigan to win it all. I think it's going to be the first time a Big Ten team has won since Michigan State in like 2000.
Wow.
Or 99. Yeah. The Big Ten has not won a championship.
Michigan played Louisville that one year. So Michigan won it that year. Louisville got their titles hook, right?
Yeah. They got a de facto one, but this will be the first legit one.
Do they get a title for that?
No, they don't give it to the other team.
Why not? Shit, I take it. They gave in horse racing when Rich McCullough got caught cheating, they gave it to Mendelson or Brad Cox's horse.
Country House.
Yeah, that was in the disqualification. I'm talking about the drug deal with Medina Spirit and Baffert and them.
Louisville
to the second place.
Didn't the NCAA give it back to Louisville?
No, not yet. No.
That ain't gonna happen.
No, they gave the MVP or the MOP back to Luke Hancock.
Yeah, because he took him to court.
Did y'all hear Trinidad got eligible real quick? I heard somebody he sued him and got eligible. So
I thought he was, and then he wasn't. I don't know what he is.
I think he is again. I think I read he is again now.
You're the official spokesperson for the Trinidad Chambliss campaign, so let you keep us updated.
Dude.
Who knows? All right, Arizona, Illinois. Who y'all got?
I got Arizona. Arizona
all the way.
Arizona.
Simon and Bibby.
Arizona.
Is that the last championship they had? Simon and Bibby beat us.
It's the only championship they got. They only got one.
Yep.
All right, guys, that's about it. Next week when I don't know if we're recording on Monday, we'll be watching the national championship. We're gonna have to talk about that.
I won't be here, guys. I'll be out of town.
I'm out of town too, but I ain't scared to go remote.
When you out of town, Josh? All next week?
I'm out all next week. We're going to Destin.
Oh my goodness! Am I gonna have to bring in a guest host? Y'all giving me less than a week?
Bring in Trav. He'll do it.
Y'all giving me less than a week's notice to know both of y'all fuckers are gonna be out of town?
Dude, I'll go
Oh, my
remote.
goodness. Take your camera out to the beach.
Just
set
Denny
that
and
bitch
Travis.
up,
I'm
get
taking mine to the eye. That'd be Magic Kingdom night.
Get you a
Nah.
beer. Well, Anthony won't be able to do it, but if Josh is at the beach, he could set up on the beach for an hour. I'm not asking you to do that, Josh. We'll figure it out.
No, I swear I'll do it. I don't care.
We'll figure it out. Guys, appreciate everybody listening. Hopefully, no technical issues. We will find out here in just a little bit. Maybe we just recorded this whole thing and nothing worked, but I'm going to knock on wood. There he is.
Gizmo.
Gizmo. That is a legit mask. Guys, appreciate everybody listening. As always, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Check us out. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the follow button. Tell somebody about us. Continue listening on iHeart, and Spotify, and full videos on YouTube. Guys, y'all got anything else? Gizmo, you got anything? Josh is over there dreading. When's the last time you went to bed this late on a work night, Josh?
No, this is usually about what time I go to bed anyway.
Oh, is it?
By the time no, like on Monday nights. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Monday night.
When we do the pod.
All right,
Yeah.
so we ran a little bit behind schedule, but hey, we had to make it work this week, and hopefully this gives us a little experience because we're probably going to have to do some more of this in the future.
Oh yeah,
maybe next week. So,
right.
Guys, appreciate everybody. For Gizmo, for Josh, for Blitz the Bookie. We'll see y'all next week. Blitz the Bookie, guys.
Later, y'all.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the Bookies, where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Late nights, hustle deals on the line. Charlie Stats, he's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart, where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the Bookies, where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The Bookies, where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find.